as they're moving off towards the east.
Yeah, and Larry, as you get these lines of storms that move through, we get these rotation in these tornadoes. They don't last very long, but they do and can cause significant damage in a very short time. So let's recap where we have the tornado warning. You can see one warning extends from the northeast corner of DuPage County through Cook County out towards O'Hare and over towards Evanston. A second tornado warning remains in effect until 11:15 for the western part of DuPage County and back into sections of Kane County. If we take a closer look, some of the circulation we saw earlier continues just now to the north of Wooddale and north of Addison up towards Elk Grove. We're seeing some rotation. The rotation east of Addison, a little harder to pick up, but there has been some rotation right in this area heading towards Rosemont. So you get the idea. We have these areas of rotation in some places, especially the northeast part of DuPage County and extending up into the northwest parts of Cook County. You look back to the west, we're not getting quite as the indication of any rotation with those storms as we get into the eastern part of Kane County. Maybe a little rotation there just south of Batavia, but not as clear cut as what we are seeing near Elk Grove. That's where we are seeing the most significant rotation. You can see several tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings as well. We pull it out. Here's where the severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings for much of the area. We're just getting an updated one here for parts of Kane County. The latest warning was for Grundy, Kane, Kendall, and LaSalle counties as far as severe thunderstorm warnings are concerned. So there's the line of severe storms. The red boxes represent where we have the tornado warnings. This line extends all the way from Lake Michigan back into sections of Iowa. So we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, even after those tornado warnings expire. Our future radar shows those storms continuing through about 1 a.m. After we get past 1 a.m., those storms will be out of here. So we have an unconfirmed tornado that possibly touched down in Addison. So if you are in these tornado warnings, a couple of quick safety tips. Stay away from the second story if at all possible. Most damage occurs on the top floor of a home. If you can, get somewhere in the basement. If you can't get to the basement, at least get under something sturdy and into an interior hallway or bathroom, and certainly avoid windows. You can't see a tornado at night, obviously, so it is especially dangerous. So keep that in mind. We're going to go over to Cheryl now, and as we keep you updated on this unfolding tornado situation. Cheryl.
Yes, we still do have those warnings on the map, and we just want to backtrack for you. We do have 2 tornado warnings that have been issued for our area. One still in effect here for DuPage and Kane until 11:15. This is really pushing into DuPage now, and I'm also looking just off to the south of this warning. So for those of you just south here, Bristol into parts of northern Will County, this storm here that's going to be moving in, we are talking about some very high winds moving into your area. So this is just south of the warning, but potentially we could find very gusty winds, and monitoring the rotation just off to the south of the warning as well. So I just want to give you a heads up here as this passes into northern Will County. Northern Will County, heads up. DuPage here, a lot of lightning. This is where we do have that warning in effect right now, and it's almost outrunning its boundary where we are finding the strongest winds right now. You can see from St. Charles stretching over towards Naperville. This is knocking at your door, so get ready. That wind is certainly going to pick up, and these thunderstorms tonight can definitely pack winds upwards of about 60-65 miles per hour. So some wind damage we're going to potentially watch out for here. So this leading edge, Naperville up towards Wheaton, Downers Grove, now getting to about the eastern edge of this warn zone. You're still in the tornado warning. So for those of you in this warning, from Bloomingdale stretching back towards Naperville, I want you to be aware still the potential here of an isolated tornado. So this is where we do have that one warning. A lot of heavy rain coming down with these storms as well. As we take a look at velocity, we're seeing some signatures here indicating at times within these storms where we're finding winds gusting upwards of about 60 miles per hour. Let's switch back over to, or let's go to the other tornado warning now that was also in effect for parts of northern DuPage and Cook County. And this one is going to stay in effect as well. But this storm is moving quickly off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So as we load this here, just south of Waukegan here, where we have the city just back to the west, that's where we're looking at this next tornado warning. So as I zoom on in, as my computer allows me to do that, you can see this warning in effect until 11:30, but also just south of this warned storm. Now, this is very heavy rain and high winds, and you can see storm tracks picking up and on these wind gusts. The potential here, though, for rotation. So we are finding rotation within the line of showers and thunderstorms. So tornado warning in effect for Cook and DuPage. So for everyone in this zone from Elk Grove stretching to the lakefront, including Niles here, just north of the city. Heads up here, you need to be in your safe place and be weather aware and ready. But also where we're finding these notches, and this is going to be something that we're going to continue to look at on the leading edge of these storms here, just north of Oak Brook. There you can see 294 Melrose Park here, the potential of some rotation being picked up here. This is now just to the east of Lombard, so this is going to continue to the east, getting closer to about Oak Park, up towards Dunning as well. So this whole zone here is something that we're going to have to continue to monitor, because very heavy rain and the potential here of some very strong winds and hail also being reported in these storms. So as we take a look here at the hail being reported, you can see some small hail. Okay, so some pea, some dime-sized hail. But again, hail will be a threat with some of these storms, and the precipitation that's coming down is going to be extremely heavy. So we're going to have to watch out for some isolated flooding. You can see these bright colors coming in. This is indicating rainfall rates upwards of 1 to potentially 2 inches per hour. Not only that, these lines of showers and storms slowly migrating over the same areas in some of these locations. Okay, this just in, a new tornado warning has just been issued. This is something that we were watching out for. Now, just to the south of Naperville, you can see this new red box picking up on your screen. So this is a new tornado warning that has just been issued for Cook, DuPage, and Will counties. And this is what I was just talking about 3 to 5 minutes ago, was the southern leading edge just to the south here of Naperville. So this new warning remains in effect here till 11:45. So this stretches just to the south of Naperville. There you can see the leading edge of this storm. This is where we're going to focus in on. This is going to continue moving to the east. So out ahead of it, 55 here and Lamont. These are the cities that we're going to watch out for this. So let's track this storm, because this is our new warning that just came in until 11:45, moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. Bolingbrook 11:08, Lamont at 11:15, Palos Hills at 11:27. So again, everyone in this warning, you need to have your guard up, and if you are under a tornado warning, it is best to get to your safe place. That would be the lowest level of your home. So wind gusts within these storms upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour, brief tornadoes possible, very heavy rain, isolated flooding. Again, these storms will be with us for another 1 to 2 to potentially 3 hours. So we got a lot going on, and Larry, you have been monitoring this as well throughout the day today. That rotation, we're finding it out there with these storms.
We really are, Cheryl. You know, what's interesting, the cloud cover from earlier in the day stopped round one from being bad, but there's enough energy in the atmosphere here this evening to get these storms incredibly strong right now. And we've got this deep wind shear here in the lower levels of the atmosphere. There's a lot of wind going on this map, but it just shows the ground level and the 5,000-foot winds, and there's a lot of wind shear allowing these storms to rotate right now. So the one tornado warning that was in effect for northern Cook County has expired, but we have still 2 tornado warnings in effect, and that newest warning, which Cheryl was just highlighting here, for parts of Cook, southern DuPage County, parts of Will County, in effect until 11:45. That storm is just on the south side of Naperville right now, and our velocity data is really good at this point, because this possible tornado is very close to the radar. You can see the sweep of the radar coming through. Right up here where you see that red and green right next to each other, right there. That's where the tornado is located, detected by radar, moving off towards the east. So this is going to hug the DuPage and Will County line as it moves off to the east. So that's just south of Naperville, just on the south side of Downers Grove, stretching over towards Woodridge and Darien. If you're in those areas, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Very dangerous situation with this possible tornado. And because it's so close to the radar and we're getting this really tight signature on our velocity data, it kind of gives us a little higher confidence that there's something going on there which could potentially lead to a tornado. So a lot of low-level rotation being detected with that storm as it moves off towards the east. I'm going to zoom in even closer here and take you right down to street level and give you kind of the exact location of where that rotation is. So it's getting closer to Woodridge right now. Kind of going to slide just north of the Bolingbrook area, at least downtown Bolingbrook. But as I go in closer, we'll take a peek here. This is passing along 75th Street, moving towards Green Road, over towards Ranch View Drive as well, and continuing off towards the east. So this is heading towards you folks in the Woodridge area as we speak. And it's going to ride, it looks like, at least along 75th Street right now here, which will take it into the Woodridge area and then eventually over towards Darien as well. So I'll zoom back out. Just got an updated look here. Let's see. Confirmed tornado with the new tornado warning just issued for southern DuPage County based off a TDS of correlation coefficient. Okay, so that's a lot of jumbled words coming from the Weather Service. But what it shows us is that there is debris being picked up by this tornado that's being reflected by our radar in the sky. And so that tells us right there it is. Okay, so this is a debris signature we have with our Live Doppler 7 Max radar. And right there, you see that little, everything's red, and then all of a sudden there's just this hole right here. That's the tornado, folks. This is a tornado on the ground right now, running right along 75th Street, heading into Woodridge. A really serious situation. I know sometimes we get tornado warnings and you say to yourself, it's just going to pass. This is not that case. This is where you want to be in your safe room right now if you're in the Woodridge area. This looks like a tornado on the ground, given the fact that the radar is picking up on debris being lofted into the air right here, just crossing over Green Road and moving 75th Street towards Woodridge Drive and downtown Woodridge. This will be, there you go. See, there's the new update right there, getting closer to 355 as we speak. So the newest debris signature there actually looks a little bit worse. So this could be a strengthening tornado on the ground here, moving right into Woodridge as we speak. So if you're anywhere here in Darien, Woodridge, southern Downers Grove, you need to be in your safe room at this time. Small interior room in the basement, that's the preferred zone. But if you can, get into a small room away from windows and exterior walls. Let's go back to the radar here. We'll just switch back to traditional reflectivity mode. And so when you look at this on the radar, you know, it doesn't look like much. But when we have these special tools with our radar to pick out where there's rotation and also possible debris, this is it. This is right here. This is the danger zone right in this spot where we're getting rotation being picked up and also debris being picked up by our radar. So let's just take a closer look at this. Again, moving off towards the east at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So you folks in Darien, you're next in line for this tornado, and even over towards Burr Ridge. Let me put this in motion too, and I'll just give you a 30-minute time lapse of this debris signature, and we can take a peek and see what happens. Watch when that little, let me slow this down here. Here we go. I'll go a little bit slower. Watch when this little ball just kind of pops up on the radar. Really, in the past several scans, you can see it just developing right there. That's that rotation being picked up by the storm and, of course, the debris being lofted into the air. You know, the radar bounces off objects in the air like raindrops, and sometimes like when leaves or dirt gets sucked up into a storm, that gets picked up by our radar, and that's what our radar is showing us at this point, that debris that's being lofted into the air right here over the Woodridge area. So this is our tornado warning at this point. The one tornado tornado warning we had back towards Kane and western DuPage County, that storm has weakened quite a bit. This is really the only storm right now that looks like it's capable of producing a tornado or is producing a tornado at this time. Phil, I'm going to send it back to you. Do you have an update at all on this storm?
It is a specific update, but we don't see a debris ball like this very often. This reminds me of the situation we saw back in Coal City and Diamond several years ago. But this is over a much more populated area, and there you see that pink color right there, right over Woodridge, just to the west of 355. A confirmed tornado. It continues to move just north of due east. So some of the communities that will be affected here, Darien in just the next few minutes, eventually reaching possibly Burr Ridge, Indian Head Park, and Countryside. You are in the path of this confirmed tornado that is about to cross 355 here at any time and continuing to move to the east-northeast across DuPage County, possibly skirting the southern parts of Downers Grove as well. So this is a very dangerous situation. This is the one place that we are seeing distinct circulation. So there's our tornado warning, now in effect until 11:45. It does include the southern parts of DuPage County, the northern parts of Will County. We first saw the circulation get going in the south side of Naperville, and it really has ramped up here in the last, say, several minutes. And now we're getting an additional tornado warning a little bit farther north, and this is going up into the Elmhurst area as well. So obviously a very fluid situation. On top of that, we have this strong to severe storm. You can see all the severe thunderstorm warnings, and here is our tornado warning with more rotation now in sections of DuPage County and getting very close to the city around Cicero. And look at all the lightning with these storms, a nasty line of severe storms extending all the way back down towards LaSalle and continuing to move to the east. So plenty of lightning, plenty of wind, and look what happens. Next few hours, we're not done. Even at 1 a.m., strong to severe storms will continue. So we got about 2 more hours of active weather before things start to settle down as we get into the overnight hours. So I want to go back to that circulation because you just don't see this very often. It's been years since we've seen circulation quite that strong, you know, and I don't have the debris ball because, to be honest, it's called correlation coefficient. We just don't see it very often. But right now we are seeing now that possible or that confirmed tornado now east of 355 heading towards Darien. And there you see some more circulation up towards Downers Grove right in this area. This might be more hail, but around Westmont we could have the possibility of a tornado just a few miles away. You could have several rotation areas here, even northeast of Westmont. So you get
Phil,
the idea.
We just got reports of the tornado crossing 355 a few moments ago with debris on 355. So that's that storm right there moving through Darien now, getting closer to Burr Ridge. And there's also some circulations, as you're noting, up here towards the Willowbrook and the Westmont and even the Hinsdale area as well. That has prompted that warning to be expanded a little farther to the north. You can see it right there on velocity. Yeah,
you know, we get
there you can see the debris signature too. They took my computer. But you can see right there that still debris ball over Darien heading towards Willowbrook and Burr Ridge. And then there isn't a debris ball showing up here around Oak Brook or Hinsdale, but there is still a possibility of some rotation. And Phil was showing that on the velocity data a second ago. Didn't want to interrupt you, Phil, but we just got that report of that tornado crossing 355. So we wanted to get that on the air as fast as we could because the reports are coming in of some damage being reported in that area, debris being reported in that area, and the Weather Service is now going to deem this a particularly dangerous situation. And so what that is with this tornado warning, it elevates it to one of the most, the highest level of tornado warnings. All warnings are serious and dangerous. Particularly dangerous situation, this kind of elevates it to the highest threat level in terms of a tornado warning. So Darien, Burr Ridge, also Westmont, Clarendon Hills, Hinsdale area, you need to be taking your precautions right now. I'm actually in the western suburbs right now in this area where it's under the tornado warning, and I've got my family in our basement here, in our small bathroom to keep them safe. The sirens are going off in my town, in this area as well, so you need to be taking this very, very very seriously and getting into your safe room as we speak. And it looks like Darien and Burr Ridge, you're next in line here for this very serious situation with a tornado on the ground moving 75th Street, just about ready to cross I-55 right now. And your phones are probably going off. Mine's alerting me right now for the tornado warning in this area. And again, this other rotation signature we're getting is up here right over Westmont, heading over towards Clarendon Hills, just about ready to cross over 83. So right in this area here is where we're getting the rotation over Westmont, passing over Cass Avenue now, heading over towards 83 and moving into the Hinsdale area. This is moving off towards the east as well. So anybody here in southern DuPage County and northern parts of Will County, you need to be taking your tornado precautions at this time. But I tell you, Phil and Cheryl, that storm right now in Darien and Burr Ridge, that signature we're seeing on the velocity data, that is about as strong as a signal you will ever see for a tornado from our radar. And given the fact that this is so close to the radar and the debris we're being picked up by this is a serious situation. There's the up to ball right there now over Burr Ridge, heading towards Willow Springs and Countryside.
Yeah, Larry, this is a scary situation, but we're gonna get you through this. We don't see this. This is quite rare for this area, but we do have this confirmed tornado on the ground. This has been spotted, reported, and storm reports are coming in from the National Weather Service. We have storm spotters out there on this storm and several fires being responded to with the damage from this storm. Trees are down, power lines are down. So please keep in mind that a lot of this could potentially just bring a lot of damage to parts of the area. If you're in this area right now along I-55, we just got a new scan. So this storm is moving quickly. We're off to the east now. This is located now really right on top of Burr Ridge, 83rd Street, South County Line Road, 79th Street. There's I-55. This is going to continue to work its way to the east. So this is where we are seeing that potential tornado down, still on the ground, up towards Wolf Road. Here you see Willow Springs Road. This is a highly populated area. I-55, 294, where these intersect, potential tornado on the ground right now. And we can also show you, not only are we seeing a very high velocity signal showing us that strong rotation, but this is just something we don't typically see and we haven't talked about in a long time. The correlation coefficient, here you can see this yellow, this green, which does not match any other part of its surroundings. So that is the radar picking up on things in the atmosphere that are not weather related. So this is a strong signal showing us that we likely still are looking at this tornado on the ground. Burr Ridge, I-55, Countryside. This is where we have that warning. Particularly dangerous situation. Looking at the latest reports coming in, very strong rotation and a very pronounced debris signature up to at least 13,000 feet over Darien. This is a very strong and dangerous storm. So this tornado warning will remain in effect. Again, a particularly dangerous situation. This is now moving past Burr Ridge. This is getting close to Justice, Bedford Park, Hickory Hills, and Burbank. So as we track this here off to the east, if you are in the path of this storm, you need to seek shelter immediately. You need to get to the lowest level of your home, take this seriously, and get to your basement. Justice at 1122, Bridgeview at 1125, and continuing to the east, we have Midway here at 1128. So this is a dangerous storm. Let's take you back to radar here where we do have this warning in effect. So the rain is coming down. This is not the time that you need to step outside and see what's going on. But again, very dangerous storm here rolling through this area close to Burr Ridge, now passing to the east, Willow Springs, Justice, West 87th Street here, West 79th Street, Summit, West 63rd Street. Back towards Countryside. This is the area where we are seeing that rotation and tornado touchdown with the damage report coming in from this area. This is, again, a dangerous storm cell that will continue its way to the east. So if you're in the path of this storm, let's just take it a little bit ahead, just to the east of this warned area. Orland Park, I want you to be ready for this. Worth 1127. If this storm continues to really bring the dangerous element of that tornado, Alsip at 1131, Evergreen Park at 1133, and Blue Island here at 1137. Okay, that's going just a little bit farther to the east, but this is something that we need to closely monitor. And Velocity just telling this story so well right now, and we're still picking up on it. So where we have Willow Springs, this is where we're seeing that tornado still on the ground right now. Illinois 171 crossing over 12. There we have West 81st Street. We are giving you a street view where we have this potential tornado touchdown still on the ground, and it has been indicated by storm spotters as well as radar that this is a very strong tornado, and again, a dangerous situation. So we really want to keep our eye on this storm and let you know, especially for those of you off to the east and out ahead of it. So Bedford Park, Burbank, Oak Lawn, Hometown, Midway. If you're hearing your city in this warned zone, you need to be in your safe place. So let's go over that. Where's the safest place to be? A basement. If you don't have that basement, lowest level of your home, put yourself in an interior room. A bathroom is always good, or a closet under a stairwell. You want to have as much room between you and the outside wall. So lowest level of your home, a basement if possible. Again, dangerous situation. We're still continuing to see some very strong rotation and also a damaging wind threat with these showers and storms, very strong storms continuing to roll through the area. So we're just getting an update now where they have basically moved this warning a little bit farther to the east to keep up with this storm, but it's still going to remain in effect here until 11:45, I believe, or closer to midnight. So this is the warned storm that we're going to continue to monitor. I know we have eyes on this, but this is a dangerous situation that we're tracking very closely. Phil, what updates do you have?
Have been watching this debris for about the last 20 to 30 minutes. It hasn't weakened much. You can see, just to give you a frame of reference, here's I-55. The area of concern is just south of Justice. Now we're not seeing quite as well defined. It is still the tornado, though, is probably just about over Justice. This thing has been moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So it continues to be a threat for places like Burbank. So as we take a track on where some of the communities that we're talking about, Burbank here in just the next few minutes, Hometown closer to 1134, and eventually into Evergreen Park by 1147. So you get the idea. We do continue to watch the circulation here. We're not quite seeing it as tight as it was just, say, 5-10 minutes ago as it moved across Burr Ridge. So hopefully this tornado is beginning to show signs of weakening. It is a confirmed tornado. It is confirmed that it has caused damage from possibly the southeast side of Naperville through places like Woodridge and into Darien. There's where we continue this tornado warning. It's in effect until 11:45, so about another 15 to 20 minutes, and then this part of the tornado warning continues as well. So we're going to continue to monitor this, and on top of that, look at all the severe thunderstorm warnings. Now in the city, all the way south and east, a dangerous line of severe thunderstorms, not just tornadoes, but straight line winds, a major player here as well. Then all lightning was along with some minor flooding. The biggest concern, though, continues to be down towards Justice with that tornado. Not quite as well defined, but you see that little hint of purple. That's where we're talking about still some circulation just to the southeast side of Justice, heading right towards you folks in Burbank and Bridgeview, and there you see Hometown. So be prepared. This is a dangerous situation. It continues to move to the east, and we don't go to your windows. That's the first thing that can get blown out. You definitely, if you are in the track of this tornado, want to get into your basement. This has been a large and dangerous tornado as it has crossed 355, as it has crossed I-55. We've had reports of fires from this. It is a dangerous situation. Even though we're not quite seeing the same sort of velocity we were seeing just, say, 10, 15 minutes ago, nonetheless, there is still some circulation showing up there as it moves east towards Burbank and Hometown. Just don't see a debris ball very often around here. I would say it happens about once every 3 or 4 years. You get a debris ball with a tornado, you have a significant tornado on the ground, and that was the case earlier. Now we're beginning to lose some of that definition in the velocity, but still signs of rotation there as the storm is moving east and across the southwest parts of Cook County, heading towards Burbank, staying just a bit south of Midway as it looks now. Most areas will continue to deal with the strong storms for at least the next hour or so. Larry, what are you seeing? Are you seeing the same sort of signs of that it's finally beginning to weaken as I look out our window here and you can see the storms now moving into the city?
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. That's the case. That's such a good sign to see. But even as the circulation kind of winds down a little bit, at least the strengthening, the real tight circulation kind of weakens a little bit, there's still a very high risk of some high winds with this. Interesting about the tornado warning, you can see how it kind of goes from central Cook County, stretching now down into the southwestern parts of Cook County. We've been watching that one really strong tornado on the ground march through southern DuPage County, but really anywhere along this line that's now pushing into Cook County, there could be some spin-up tornadoes, brief ones. And I just got a report in of trees down and structural damage near 75th and Janes in southern DuPage County, or in that vicinity. So we are getting more reports of damage from the tornado that tracked there through southern DuPage